for people who don't know me, I'm retired from industrial engineering at University of Wisconsin, mainly a risk analyst by profession. And my effort has been kind of complementary to Adam's. What can we do at a time when the federal agencies are going to be, for a while anyway, pretty dysfunctional? So that might be what we do if we have a new Democratic Congress in January, but it might also be what we do in the early years of a next presidential administration before the agencies are reorganized and reconstituted. So next slide, Adam. The basic premises that I've been working from, first of all, some federal risk management functions may be difficult or costly to restore because of loss of institutional memory, obsolete or corrupted databases, and in general, repair is always more costly than maintenance. Some previous federal functions were overly costly, slow, and burdensome already, and may either be unnecessary or be better done at a state or local level instead of federally. In part with input from Rob Goebel, some of the promising strategies that I've been thinking about. First of all, a new Congress or a new administration will need to find opportunities for early wins, not just undertake a big overhaul of the entire regulatory apparatus. In some areas, state, local, and private capabilities may have suffered less damage than federal capabilities and be more easily motivated or incentivized to perform, and that it's important to be able to demonstrate that government can achieve positive things. So I've been focused on sort of narrow measures where we can have some accountability and measurement of what was actually achieved, rather than huge omnibus kinds of funding programs where it's hard to find, a single demonstrated result. A lot of this has been focused on federalist strategies where, for instance, Congress could provide funding for states and localities, even at a time when the federal agencies are not yet really functional. And looking for opportunities that are opt-in at the state or local level, similar to how, enhanced Obamacare support was opt-in, but also measures that would attract bipartisan support in Congress. This has been done not under the auspices, next slide, Adam, sorry. This has been done not under the auspices of Unpolitics, but as an ad hoc working group. Thanks to Michael Greenberg from Rutgers, I was able to assemble a group of senior people, mainly from public health and environmental health. We've met online 6 times since April to brainstorm possible policy proposals. The goal is to develop 10 or 20 proposal ideas, sort of 1 or 2 page documents. It's not intended to be a comprehensive effort of what's needed, but just examples of early wins to motivate this type of thinking and hopefully stimulate more ideas from others. Last slide, Adam. A few examples that are in varying phases of being written up right now. I put together one on clean air in schools. There was a lot of funding for schools in the beginning of the pandemic, but it was so broad-based that schools could use the money for a very wide variety of things. I wanted to do something that would be very narrowly focused on improved ventilation, filtration, and or sterilization, so that you could clearly show here's what was supported and here's what benefit it achieved. Michael Greenberg put together one on brownfields remediation and development that would provide matching funds to support local initiatives. And he made the observation that this has historically been pretty popular on a bipartisan basis because communities that have these brownfield sites really want to be able to do something better. Another colleague of mine did one on how to make flying easier and safer by supporting the development of secondary reliever airports, similar to what Midway does for Chicago, where you could move some smaller flights, smaller planes, and private aviation away from the major airports to secondary airports, which would be convenient for passengers, but also safer for flights. And there's other possible ideas that we could propose that haven't gotten to the level of a one page here yet. I would just say, if interested, email me and I would be happy to include you in our group going forward. So that's really all I have to say.